110 children, one building, one missile, and two men standing in front of cameras, lying to the entire world. Tonight, we are not just reporting a story, we are holding power accountable. This is Atlas Brief, and what you are about to see has already changed history. On the night America launched its military strikes against Iran in the city of Minab, a missile fell on a building. That building was not a military base. That building was not a weapons facility. That building was a girls' school. According to Iranian officials, 168 people were killed in that strike. Around 110 of them were children, girls, students, human beings with names, with families, with futures. And when the world asked, who did this? The President of the United States said, Iran did it themselves. His defense secretary echoed the same line, but then the video came out, and everything changed. Before we analyze, before we expose the lies, watch this video.
Thank you. Tom Bateman with the BBC. Can you give us an update on what the administration knows, what you know now about the reported strike on a girls' school in southern Iran on Saturday?
All I can say is that we're investigating that. We, of course, never target civilian targets, but we're taking a look and investigating that. Red tie in front.
Just on the basis that with the information you would have, your reconnaissance abilities, ability to gather information, I mean, it's several days on now. So is there any clarity on whose munition this was?
We're investigating it. Thank you.
What you are seeing right now has been verified. This is not Iranian propaganda. This is not edited footage. Independent analysts, US media outlets, and military investigators have all reviewed this video. What does it show? It shows a US Tomahawk cruise missile, a weapon exclusively used by the United States military, striking an Iranian military base near Minab, and directly next to that base, the girls' school. U.S. media has now reported that American military investigators themselves believe, with high likelihood, that U.S. forces were responsible for this strike. The Pentagon has confirmed it is investigating. This is not speculation. This is not anti-American bias. This is what the evidence shows. Now, let's talk about the lies, because they matter and they have consequences. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, stood before the world and said, without a single piece of evidence, that Iran was responsible for bombing its own girls' school, killing its own children. Think about what that claim requires you to believe. It requires you to believe that the Iranian government deliberately bombed a school full of its own daughters, while simultaneously blaming America, with footage that somehow perfectly showed a Tomahawk missile. A Tomahawk missile that only America makes, that only America fires. This is not a coincidence. This is not a mystery. This is a cover-up, and it is failing. Now let's talk about Pete Hegseth, the US Defense Secretary. When asked directly by BBC journalists about the strike, what did he say? He said, "The United States does not target civilians. That's it. No investigation results, no accountability, no grief for the dead children." He also previously declared, proudly, that under his leadership, there would be no, quote, stupid rules of engagement. Senators are now asking him directly, did that attitude, that arrogance, did it contribute to a missile falling on a school full of girls? Because rules of engagement exist for one reason, to prevent war crimes. If those rules were ignored or weakened, then what happened in Minab is not just a tragedy. It is a crime. Nearly every Democrat in the US Senate has now written a formal letter to Hegseth. They are asking, did the US carry out this strike? Was old or faulty targeting intelligence used? Were proper rules of engagement followed? Were laws of war, laws designed specifically to protect children, violated? These are not partisan questions. These are human questions. And the silence, or worse, the deflection from the White House and the Pentagon speaks volumes. Before we continue, I want to stop. Because in the noise of politics and investigations and Senate letters, we must never forget who actually paid the price here. 110 children. Girls who woke up that morning and went to school. Maybe they had homework due. Maybe they were nervous about an exam. Maybe they were excited to see their friends. They did not know they were going to die. Their parents sent them to school. The way parents everywhere send their children to school, believing that education is safe, that learning is sacred, that a school is protected ground, it was not. And now, 110 families are living in a silence that no parent should ever know. A silence where a child's voice used to be. This is what war crimes look like. They don't always look like soldiers with guns. Sometimes they look like a missile, launched from thousands of miles away, by someone who will never see the faces of those they killed. The children of Minab deserve to live. They deserve their futures. They deserve their education. And the world, every single one of us, owes it to them to demand the truth. Not for politics, not for ratings, but because their lives mattered. Because if we look away, we become complicit in the silence. Let us be absolutely clear about what this represents, if confirmed. The United States, a country that presents itself to the world as a defender of human rights, a champion of democracy, a protector of the innocent, may have fired a missile into a girls' school, and then lied about it. This is not about being anti-American. Millions of Americans themselves are horrified by what happened. Their own senators are demanding answers. Their own journalists broke this story. This is about accountability, and accountability has no nationality. When civilians are killed in war, it is a tragedy. When children are killed, it is a catastrophe. When governments lie about it, it becomes something darker still. The international community must not allow this to be buried under diplomatic language and political spin. 168 people are dead, 110 of them were children. A Tomahawk missile, made in America, was on camera. The world is watching, and it will not forget. This is why journalism matters. This is why evidence matters. This is why you, watching right now, matter. Because power only fears accountability when people are paying attention. The children of Minab cannot speak for themselves anymore, so we speak for them. I'm Sawyer, and this has been Atlas Brief. If this story moved you, share it, because silence is not neutrality. Silence is a choice. We'll see you next time.